When was the last time you initiated a discussion only to have it end up in an argument? Were you then, or are you now, able to recognize your contribution to turning a discussion into an argument? Perhaps you've heard Leroy Cleaver saying, if you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. Part of relearning new communication skill is recognizing the destructive abilities you may have learned as children and continue to use in your life today. Marriages have dissolved today through this destructive ability that we have learned as children that present marriage to be hard work or not meant to be. My guest and I will discuss how we can unlearn that destructive ability and learn how to have healthy communication that will improve and strengthen our relationship with families, with our friends and acquaintances. It will also help you to avoid arguments and help you have richer, fuller, and more productive relationships. So if you're ready, call your partner, grab a coffee, get your snack, grab a pillow, be comfortable, and let's get to it. Welcome back to SMOPPY'S World. I'm your beautiful, ever-smiling host, Lady Ola. SMOPPY'S World is where we learn, we grow, and we support each other. I share priceless lessons from my own world experiences, and I can confidently say that you will not regret being here with me today. And let me quickly tell you guys have been so awesome watching this show and supporting me from afar by liking my page. My page is growing so fast. Thank you so much for following, for sharing and commenting. And if you're watching for the first time, let me welcome you to SMOPPY'S World family. I'm so excited that you stopped by today. You could have been watching something else, but you're here. Thank you. It means a lot to me. And I believe in my soul that I've been called to do this. And with your continuous support, I will be able to air more content like this and help someone out there. So don't stop following me and inviting your friends and family to like and share and leave their comments. Follow me on all my social media platforms, which will appear on your screen after this episode. Please share this episode with as many people as you can. And feel free, guys, to leave your comments. I love it when we have a conversation there. So let me quickly introduce my guest to you without wasting too much of your time. This beautiful lady was introduced to me by one of my team. And when I sat with her, I told myself, I must have her on this show. She's a brilliant woman who, despite growing up in an environment that was brutal to her and relegated the girl child, broke all barriers and became a woman pilot. A career that didn't stop her from being a mother and a wife who was recently divorced, mainly because of what we are about to discuss here today. I love her zeal and her approach to life. She didn't allow setbacks to stop her from moving forward. Today, I need to join me in welcoming Naledi to SMOPPY'S World. Naledi, welcome to SMOPPY'S World.
Thank you very much, Ma. It's a privilege.
It's such an honor to have you here today. Wow, guys.
Thank you.
We're finally here. Please, Naledi, tell us about yourself and your background.
All right. My name is Naledi. I was born and raised in Botswana.
Right.
Like Mama has already said, I'm a female pilot and I work here in Dubai in one of the airlines here in Dubai. I have one daughter. She's 13 years old. Her name is Mandisa. I should mention that because she always says I don't mention her in my interviews. Yes, her name is Mandisa. And I grew up in a family of 7. Like I have 4 siblings and my father and my mother. And my parents were originally from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
And they relocated, they migrated actually to Botswana. And then I was born in Botswana. I grew up in Botswana, yes. Wow. I grew up in a village in Botswana, the small village that's just outside of the town, outside of the city. And that's where I think my interest in flying developed from that place. Always seeing, because where our village is positioned is where the aeroplanes always pass when they go land at the international airport. So I used to see them passing there and wondering, how are people inside? How do they feel? Will I ever get to be in an aeroplane? But with the situation in our home, I knew I would never just fly as a passenger. So I needed to force my way into it through working in it. Wow. So that's where the dream developed, and I was determined to become the first lady pilot in Botswana. But unfortunately, there was already somebody I didn't know. Then I said, okay, fine, I'll be the second one. I don't mind. Yeah. So that's basically the background into it.
What was it like at home growing up? You say you have 4 siblings?
Yes.
What was that like for you growing up, having a father that you have and the mother?
I can say that it's like growing up in a war zone. It's like growing up in a war zone. Yes, I have 4 siblings. I'm the second born. The elder one is a woman as well. And we only have 1 boy, which is the last born.
The last born.
Yeah, the last born. And all of us had to go through that war zone. We had to develop survival instincts in that war zone. My father was a physically abusive person to my mother. They are both business people and they started their business in Botswana and the business was thriving and all that, but he was that kind of man. He couldn't communicate whatever that was wrong with him. Whatever that he needed to communicate, it was through their hands, even to us as well. So as individuals, we developed survival instincts, but one of the most important thing that we developed is knowing that we have to stand up for ourselves out there in the world, and we had to do our best to be the best. We had to be independent. We had to be self-sustaining in everything that we had to do. That's why I'm a pilot. My other siblings are doctors. My older sister is a marketing manager, and my young brother is the one who's still playing around, still trying to figure out what he wants to do. Yeah, so we became those women. And having been those women, we still lacked, we still missed the fatherly love, the fatherly care, the fatherly advice, because we were never close to him. He was staying at home, definitely, but he was just a lion at home. When he comes home, we run away. So we know nothing. He knows nothing about us.
About you.
Even up to now, he knows nothing about us. He just knows that he has kids, but he doesn't know anything about us. He put us through school, and that was just it. He just paid for school fees, and that's it. He's even shocked of our strength right now that we can stand up against him now. We can say, no, we're not going to tolerate your abuse anymore. No, you're not going to talk to us like that anymore. So it shocks him. So because he doesn't know us, he doesn't know what he created in us by making us grow up in such an environment. Yeah.
Wow. Ooh, that's much. I know that there are people that are watching that are also growing up with a father like that.
Yeah.
And whether we believe it or not, there's a lot that fathers and mothers, there's a lot of impact that they're having in the life of their children.
Yeah.
To them, I'm talking about us in Africa now, because in Africa, we always believe we're training our children. But the training that is abusive, because as far as it's concerned, it's shaping you guys up.
Yeah.
It's training you.
Yeah.
It's making you, but without realizing that it's actually making you to be toughened. It's actually making you to become dependent, upon yourself, instead of you depending on your parents. Growing up at young age like that, you're supposed to depend on your parents.
Yes.
You're supposed to be loved by your parents. Everything. This is, it's just part of what we have to talk about it, because one of the major issues that I feel that relationship are dealing with is communication roadblock.
Yes.
The behavior of your father didn't just start the moment that he met your mom.
Yes.
It started from generation to generation. I can tell you 97% that his behavior, he learned it from his own father. He has seen his uncle, he has seen his father doing that, and he believed that's the right thing to do, and that's the way he raised you. Communication roadblocks is a very, very big relationship problem that we do not develop a hook to encourage partners to engage in our communication.
Yeah.
We did make sure that the setting was agreeable for communication. Communication for me is not one way. It's 2 ways for me. You have something to say, I'm listening. It's not my responsibility to make sure that whatever you're trying to communicate to me is working. It is your responsibility to make sure that the place is set, it's the right time, it's the right place. And whatever you're saying to me, for example, I was coming back from work. I was already tired. I was hungry. And I have a lot in my mind that I'm thinking about your inability to be able to save money, your lavish spending that has been bothering me in my mind. And the moment I open the door, the first thing you're saying to me is, listen, woman, I have something in my chest and I just want to tell you my mind. I'm thinking, okay, when you say your mind and then you offload everything from your mind, so what happened to my heart? What happened to my chest? What happened to my mind? I can't say my own mind because you just want to be in control. So most of the time when things like that are happening, a lot of women are shutting up.
Yeah.
And in your situation, Naledi, you grew up in an environment like that with your dad. And then you married a man who was almost the same. How did you manage that?
Okay, I married a man who was almost like that, but he wasn't physically abusive.
Yes.
But he was
emotionally.
He was emotionally abusive in terms of verbally abusive.
Verbally abusive.
Yes. And psychologically abusive as well. As you can imagine what words can do to a person and what some kind of treatment can do to a person. I think that is worse than physical, because physical are wounds on the skin, they can heal. But the wounds in the heart, in the spirit, in the mind are deeper, you know. So with that, getting to communicate with him, it was dependent on what he wants to say when, not what I want to say. It was all about him saying what he wants to say when he wants to say it, not coming from me. My feelings, he will devalue everything. My feelings don't matter. My opinions don't matter. It's only what he wants to say and when he wants to say it. And also you can imagine when you're having a conversation with somebody who doesn't want to take any accountability for what they have done, what they have said, and yet you're supposed to partner with this person in life. What is the partnership based on if you can't communicate, if you can't take accountability? If he spends lavishly, can he account for it? Can he say, actually, you know what, I'm messing up our finances here by doing this? If he says, no, actually, he comes up with an excuse for doing the wrong things, then where is the communication there? So it becomes very difficult to communicate with a person who's like that. And with me coming from a situation that I was coming from, I always pitied my dad. I always pitied my dad. Somehow I had this empathy and compassion, like it's built into my heart. I don't know, because I always looked at him like I felt sorry for him. I was always thinking, even my siblings now, they can tell you that I'm the only one who was close to him, because I brought myself closer to him to try to understand, why is it that you can't verbalize? What makes you fight? What's wrong? What happened in your life? Those are the kind of things I always wanted to ask him. But one day I did ask. And he couldn't answer. He was actually shocked. And I caught him at the right time. He was driving, holding the steering, driving. So I knew he wouldn't flip like his hand to slap me and stuff like that. So I took that opportunity and I asked him, why do you fight? Why can't you verbalize whatever that is inside of you? Can we understand what's going on with you? Because we are living with you, we don't understand. Then choosing my partner, I looked at the fact that he was soft-spoken, very soft-spoken, speaks very low. That means it's the opposite of my dad, right? My dad will shout and throw things and stuff. He didn't have that aggressive, physical aggression that he can beat you up. So that's why I thought, oh, no, this is a good one. But because I didn't know the other side of abuse that I've never experienced, I didn't notice that there is abuse here. So with time, I got to realize it. We can't have a communication. We can't plan anything.
No.
You can't sit down and plan and say, you know what, end of the month, we're paying for this, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing that. No. He will just stand up and get angry about something that is not even part of the discussion there, just to stop the whole discussion from going on. And then he will leave. And then that's it. You never talk about that thing ever again. Yet it's important. It has to be dealt with.
It is.
So with us, I found that there's a lot of issues that we were swept under the carpet. Because when I try to make him face or confront issues that are happening in the house or with his attitude or character, like this is how you're treating me and I don't like it, he gets angry, he leaves, or he brings up something else. He counteracts that with something else. And then we end up not dealing with what I brought to the table. So that means we sweep it under the carpet, because tomorrow he'll come back, he's happy, he's calling me all sweet names and all that. And I'm like, okay, but we have something to talk about. And then he ends up with like, I'm the troublesome one. I always want things to be bad. I always want to be sad. That's why I always want to talk about sad things. you know. So many roadblocks in communications are brought by lack of clarity. If we are sitting here and two of us, I'm not clear about my intentions,
yes,
my thoughts, and my plans, then there were gonna be a roadblock there. A lack of empathy. I should empathize with you. When you're coming to me telling me that you're feeling this way, what I did made you feel this way, I should be able to sit and listen and actually be apologetic about what I did. So if we don't have that, it creates a roadblock there in the communication, lack of understanding, you know?
It does. If you're watching this and you can identify what we're talking about, communication roadblocks. If you are the only one talking in your relationship, if the opinion of your other half doesn't count or doesn't matter, let me tell you, that's not communication. Actually, that's bullying. And nobody wants to stay in the same room with a bully. Because you're bullying that man or you're bullying that woman doesn't make you to be a strong person. As a matter of fact, it's a sign of weakness. And this is the reason why we're having this discussion, so that you can make amendments, so you can enjoy a relationship. No one has to be silent in a relationship, because if there's no communication, that marriage is not going to stand. Listen, in my previous relationship, this guy was such, let me not use the word monster, but he was an insensitive person who doesn't see anybody else apart from himself. So whenever he's in the room, you have to do what he asks you to do. If you say things that he doesn't agree with, he calls you names. He throws tantrums like a little child, who has just been told of, that is throwing toys around everything. And there are words that we speak when we're angry at each other as in relationship, especially relationship where there's lack of communication.
Yeah.
Where the communication roadblock is a big problem in that relationship. We use the word of our mouth to crush our partner. Did you ever experience that?
Yeah, definitely. I had. Remember, this is a person who wants to control how I feel, how I think, and what I should say. And I'm this strong woman, and he knows that he chose me because I'm a strong woman. I'm this outspoken woman. I'm this woman who stands up for other women out there. And all that he wants to do is to crush me. And what does he use? He uses words. Oh, you're nothing. Or you think they're celebrating you. They're actually not celebrating you. They're making you feel better about yourself. There's nothing good that you can do. Oh, you're this, oh, you're that. Those are the kind of things that you come up with. And most of the time, that comes up when he knows that whatever that has to be done or discussed or whatever, he has a weakness in it. He can't do it.
Yes.
He can't do it.
Always.
Yes. And such a person, like, I call them cowards, I call them weak people, because the aggression and the name calling and all that is to shield themselves from the truth.
From the truth, yes.
To shield themselves from the truth, that actually what she can do, I can't do. So what can I do? I just have to pull her down so that she doesn't get to celebrate actually what she's good at. And like, there's no, I've gotten so many awards. There's no awards that I've ever celebrated with all my heart. Wow. There's no birthday I've ever celebrated with all my, even on a birthday, my birthday, you try to ruin the whole thing. So I never celebrate anything. My birthday comes, I'll just be normal. I don't even mention it. I don't even say it. And I still do that now. I get to be reminded, when are we celebrating your birthday? My daughter is always making noise. At least buy a cake. I'm not used to it anymore. Because anything that is worth celebrating, on that day, he will make sure he says the worst things to me that I'll be crying the whole day. And then it passes. Then the next day, that's when he starts acting nice. So it's just a way of controlling you, a way of just killing that smile.
Killing your joy.
Yeah, kill that joy.
Making you feel less of yourself.
Exactly.
Thinking that's the best way to be the man.
Yes.
To be in charge and in control.
Like, they want to control when you smile, when you laugh, when you bath, when you can look good, and when you can look bad. They always want to control that. I'll be walking out there, coming from church, somebody say, oh, you look nice, your dresses look good. When I get inside the car with him, I say it immediately. Actually, my dress is not good. Actually, I start criticizing myself, because I know it's going to come from him. Yeah, he's going to do it himself. So I'll rather criticize myself first before he starts saying it. You know, you start because you start saying,
horrible.
"Oh, they are saying your dress is nice. Look at your legs are not even nice. Your legs, this is this, that is that. Look at your hands are this." You know, so I do it immediately to myself before he can do it, so that because it's more painful coming from him. So if I say it myself, it's much better. So that's how you learn. It's a survival mechanism. You learn to survive in that manner.
You know, when I sat with you, it was like we were both married to the same man. And I was like, no, we have to have somebody out there who feel that they are nobody because their partner says so.
Yeah.
Or who are dealing with a partner who is controlling, who is power drunk, who think low of themselves and want to belittle their partner. I want them to know that it's not normal.
No.
I want them to know that that relationship is not healthy.
Yeah.
Because we are supposed to enjoy this relationship together. We are husband and wife. Why did you come into my life if you know it's just to make my life miserable? When I'm in your life, I'm supposed to add value.
Yeah.
When you're in my life, you're supposed to add value to my life. But not to be pulling one down and you want to stay on top.
Yeah.
Excuse me, if I may ask you, how long were you married to this man?
We were married for 13 years.
13 years?
Yeah, but we have been together for like 15 years. I met him when I was in school, flying school. That's where we met.
15 years?
Yeah.
You actually, you are 5 years older than me because I married that bully for 10 years.
So I survived 5 more years.
You survived more 5 years. So I need to, just put it right here. You're like, okay, you're my senior in abusive relationship. And at what point did you say to yourself, like, no, I cannot continue like this. This is not a marriage for me. Because we've had so many stories that people commit suicide. Some guys took away the lives of their wives because of this. At some point, because a lot of women don't know when to step out. I had to step out. When he came home and grabbed my neck with pillow and want to suffocate me while I was sleeping, I knew that was it. Because you will not sit down and communicate. You will not talk to me when I need to talk to you. There are things, even to the decision to make on children, you will not sit down. About finances, you don't want to sit down. You don't want to have nothing to say. And it's not that you have it all going on for you. But you psych yourself up like you have this ego, like, one can't tell me what to do. Yeah. This is my home. So anything you say goes. So I said to myself, before this guy put me 6 foot under, let me be going. So at what point was it a tipping point for you that you said, no, I have to move on?
Actually, I got to that point twice because I filed for divorce in 2015. I had enough. You can imagine, I got married when I was 24 years old. And I felt that I was young. I thought we're going to have a young marriage, We're going to have a young marriage, going to have a kid, and all that is going to be all enjoyable. But all that was all a lie from the beginning. It was all a lie. I didn't notice. When I got to realize that everything was a lie, and I tried to get myself to a better financial state for the sake of my child, then I filed for divorce. When I filed for divorce, he went and he gotten help from a pastor, and then the pastor got us together and requested that I cancel the divorce and all that so that we try God. And I thought to myself, okay, let me try God fully.
Try
fully,
God.
yes,
Okay.
let me try God fully.
God is going to be the one, tell him not to raise his hand or raise his voice and use bad words.
Yeah, there's always that option. I think I'm grateful though that I got to try God, because I thought to myself, I've been praying to God, I've been talking to God on my own, and God has been doing things in my life, and definitely I have evidence of God's existence in my life, even without the pastors. But now that there's somebody who has a higher calling, maybe let's see what will happen. Let me try this, God, and see whether indeed God was in my life, or did God really agree to this marriage or not. So 2015, I went to a high court and canceled the whole divorce. After canceling, the guy tells me, oh, you should know that I'm not the one who asked you to cancel, he's a pastor. So going forward.
So you did it for pastor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
according to him,
God, you did
according
it for
to him,
pastor.
it was the pastor who asked me to do that. So going forward, it continued. Because he said that statement so that he can show me that he's going to continue being himself. He's going to continue doing what he was doing. So he continued being himself. When we go to pastor for counseling and all that, what I say, he contradicts the whole thing. He devalues the whole thing. He tells them I'm lying and all that. We end up coming back. I usually gave them this example, like I come to you and I present to you cancer symptoms, and we walk away with the headache pills. We walk away with Panadol, of which is not helping. Because in the end, they believe him. Remember, this is a very cunning person. He's very calculative. He knows what he's doing.
Exactly, always
He
do.
knows what he's doing.
Always do.
Like I had some words from Apostle Johnson Suleiman. He said, organized lies can win over disorganized truth. Because every time I'm emotional, I'm hurt. And when I talk to pastors everywhere, I try to show them everything. I don't even have a scar to show, but I'm trying to show them the pain in my chest, the pain in my mind, the pain in my spirit about what is happening. I'm trying to show them that the monster in the house that we're staying with is not what you guys see outside. When he comes in, he takes off the mask. Yeah. And he becomes something else.
They wear different masks when people are around.
Yes.
Always. I've had that experience for 10 years.
Yes. So most of the time I don't think they ever believed me. They never believed me. So I went on, and then I said, this time I'm with God in this. 2017 something happened. Like I never understood what this is. Why does this person lie? Why does this person denies things that happen? So I went and Googled, like, why would a person change something that happened and says didn't happen? Then voila, gaslighting. That was the first time I saw the word.
Yeah, and I was actually going to go there. So go on.
And then I started researching about the gaslighting. Then I went on to narcissism. And then I researched. I'm like, oh my God. Goodness. This is what I've been dealing with. Yes. And what I read, there's no cure.
Yeah.
What I read, they don't want to go for counseling.
Yes.
Psychological counseling, they avoid. And that's what he had been doing.
Yeah. Because they are afraid to face their weakness.
Yes.
They're afraid to be caught up in the corner and say, this is not right, you need to change. They're afraid. Like, I don't even know how to say it, but it's like they're little child. I always say to people, in every man, whether they're 70 or they're 90 or they're 40, there's a little boy on the inside of them. There's always a little child on the inside of them. And that little child is what you see when you're dealing with someone who doesn't want to communicate in their relationship, someone who always wants to control.
Yeah.
And I always say this, if you trace it back to their childhood, they were hurt when they were young.
Yeah.
And so because they have been abused, they've been in an environment where it was not really loving. So when they now grow up, they feel like they are independent now. So whoever come into their space, they see it as they have somebody now to control. And that's why this communication roadblock is a huge problem for people like that. And when we're dating and we're loving each other, until we get married, that's when we start to see, like, this is not who this guy is. So this is what it's going to be. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
I needed to help someone to understand how destructive gaslighting is, how painful it is, how bad it can be if it's not spoken about or seen as a problem. Because obviously, communication roadblocks was a huge problem in your marriage.
Yeah.
No wonder it didn't last. My 10 years of being married to that guy, no wonder it didn't last, because communication roadblocks is so wide and broad that if we don't understand what this is, you can go on mountain and fast for 100,000 years.
Yeah.
It's not going to go away. I mean, I was like when you say, okay, let's try God, let's go with God this time around. Because God doesn't come down from heaven and fix you.
Yeah.
You have to fix yourself. You depend on him to help you fix you. But what do you do with somebody who doesn't want to be fixed?
To be fixed, yeah.
How can you help someone to understand how destructive, whether they're watching now, they are the one, having to make their partner to feel like, I'm in control, you need to shut up. And they're not giving each other or someone is there that's the one that is at the receiving end. Can you just in a few minutes just talk to someone based on your experience and what you've been through?
What I can say to the one who is doing it to the other person is that it depends on how you want to live your life. Because that person is going to eventually realize and walk away from your life. You're going to move on to the next person. They're going to leave you. Your children are going to leave you. You know, so it depends on where do you want to go with life. You can spend the rest of your life hiding in that mask and acting the way you're acting, but deep down you're not happy. You know, deep down you're not happy. You are letting that small child control you instead of going deep there and getting that child and dealing with that child. Whatever that was missing in that child, you need to dig deep and deal with that. Fix it. We 90% of people coming from homes that are having problems, we're having problems. It was normal in our African homes for a husband to be beating a wife, you know. And most of us are coming from such background.
Yes.
It's up to us to fix ourselves. It's up to us to realize that this is not normal. This is not healthy, you know. So for that person who's doing that to the other person, you just need to find a place where you can be happy when another person is also happy. Try to find a place where you can say, I want to make this person happy, not only myself. Because all this stems from a point of selfishness as well.
Yes.
If you become selfless, you realize that it's about you giving into that person and that person giving into you, not only you taking, you know. And the one who is on the receiving end, you need to, once you start recording conversations, once you start writing things down when they are happening, because that person is going to get you to that mental state. Always arguing with you. They break a light, you turn around like, did you just break the light? So me, I didn't even pass there, yet you saw it happening. They just to that point. So you start recording conversation because they deny everything, they change everything. Oh, I didn't say that, I didn't say it that way. Oh, you got the wrong end of the stick. That was what my ex-husband used to say. You got the wrong end of the stick. So once you start recording messages, you start writing things down, know that you are in it. You are in it. And if you try to make the person face the reality, confront the whole issue that this is what you do to me, and they deny, they don't want to deal with it, walk away. Walk away, because the repercussions of being gaslighted for a long time, it causes memory loss.
Yes.
Anxiety,
Yes.
depression, chronic depression.
Yes.
Because you are living in a hyper mode all the time. When you have to talk to this person, your brain spins into a hyperactivity. You know this person is going to lie to you. You are going to have to fight the fact that you don't want to respond because he's lying. And when he's lying like this, when you respond, he's going to end up in a fight or in an endless argument. So your brain is always on overdrive. And this causes memory loss. With prolonged depression, it's going to be a chronic depression. You're going to end up losing yourself, losing your job, losing everything if you stay in it for a long time. And most of the time, look at yourself and look at the person you're with. If you are the one on the receiving end, know that the person targeted you from the beginning. They knew that you can be a good cover.
You can be a good cover.
Because you are strong, you are empathetic, or out there you present a very perfect picture.
And the thing is, they always look for the strong people.
Yes. Because it gives them satisfaction to bring down a strong person. To make me cry, it made him so happy. I swear, he will even go and buy a Coke and drink it. He's happy when he sees me crying. So what did I train myself to do? Never to cry in front of him. So what do? I harbor emotions. Whether he insults me, I'll be smiling. Yet it hits inside, definitely. But I've trained myself to smile so that he doesn't get that satisfaction. Yes. So that's how it is. You need to just get up and leave.
That's touching for me. Nobody should actually live a life like that.
No.
Nobody should live in a relationship like that. You've been through this, and he has left you with so many wounds.
Yeah.
He has broken you into some level. Yeah. I mean, because everybody wants to be loved. Definitely, you didn't get love that you expected.
No.
Okay, now I want to ask you the last question I want to ask. Are you afraid to love again?
Honestly, yes. Honestly, yes. Because I've learnt a lot. And I don't think I can overlook a red flag. That's what they call it nowadays, red flags, right?
Red
I don't
flags,
think
yeah.
I can overlook a red flag without confronting it there and then. Yes, I'm still empathetic and I'm still soft at heart. And that's what I'm trying to protect by keeping people away. Because most people can see that and they would want to take advantage of that. So, yes, I am scared to try again. And also, I'm scared to trying again, meaning that I'm scared to maybe I'm going to give my heart and also maybe put the other person under pressure, or give the other person a different kind of life that they've never seen before, put them under scrutiny over everything, like observing everything, calling out everything, because I'm uptight about everything, Yeah. Everything that I've let slide, okay, or maybe he needs to be loved a little bit more, or maybe he needs to be cared for a little more. Because the more I got to realize about even their family pattern and all that, I kept on getting even more sympathetic towards him. Oh, okay, maybe he needs this, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But no, the person knows exactly what they are doing and they're intentional about what they're doing. So I needed to take a stand for myself.
I need to let you know that there will always be someone out there for you.
Yeah.
You cannot let that hold you. I'm a living example. If I had allowed what my ex did to me, it took a while, it took a long time. But God sent a good husband to me, a good man to me, who eventually wiped out all those memories by being the best person that I could be and making me to fly like I want to. So if God can do it for me, it's not respectant of man.
Amen.
He can do it for you.
Amen.
So don't give up on love.
I will not.
Because God is not going to give up on you.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Okay. A primary reason for the lack of effective communication is that without realizing it, people typically inject communication barriers into their conversations. Communication barriers are high-risk responses. That is, responses to whose impact on communication is frequently negative. These roadblocks are especially likely to be destructive when one or more persons interact under stress, judging the other person, criticizing, negatively, evaluate the other person's actions or attitudes. You can, you brought it on yourself. Nobody else to be blamed for the mess you are in. Like name calling, putting down or stereotyping the other person. Using any of these roadblocks to communicate will not get what you want. It won't give you a successful relationship with yourself, your family, and friends, or your acquaintances. Relearning skills start with understanding which skills to unlearn. When we unlearn our destructive abilities, which many of us inherited from our parents, we can learn the right skills to have fun, loving relationships. Naledi, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Mom.
God bless
You're
you.
welcome, Mom.
Listen, I look forward to seeing you very, very soon, again and again. That's it for now.
Definitely.
Guys, thank you for tuning in today, because I'm so glad that you did. And I look forward to you joining me in the next episode. I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I do. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe for more content like this conversation in this comment section. It's SMOPPY'S World saying, stay blessed, keep loving yourself, and love each other. God bless you.